9 Facts You Didn't Know About John Lennon. 1. His full name was John Winston Lennon. Lennon was born during World War II and was named after his paternal grandfather, John Jack Lennon, and England's Prime Minister at the time, Winston Churchill. Upon marrying the Japanese avant-garde artist, Yoko Ono, in 1969, he replaced his middle name Winston for Ono. 2. Lennon was multi-talented. From a young age, Lennon showed artistic talent not just in music but also in drawing and in writing. As a child, Lennon would spend a lot of time reading. One of his favorite writers was Lewis Carroll. His love for reading soon translated into writing short stories with illustrations. At the age of 17, Lennon was admitted into the Liverpool College of Art. Even though Lennon abandoned his art studies to concentrate solely on making music, he later returned to his other passions, writing and publishing books. His books In His Own Right and A Spaniard in the Works were released in 1964 and 1965. He also continued drawing throughout his lifetime. 3. Lennon was a big Elvis fan. Like most rock musicians who came of age in the late 50s, John Lennon idolized Elvis Presley, as well as other American rock and roll stars, such as Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, and Little Richard. Lennon, as well as the other Beatles, often cited Elvis as one of their musical influences and even recorded covers of some of his songs, such as That's All Right, Mama, I'm Gonna Sit Right Down and Cry, Over You, I Forgot to Remember to Forget, and I Got a Woman. Once the Beatles had reached worldwide fame and got to tour the U.S. for the first time in 1964, they also got to meet Elvis, who invited them to his house and showed them the first remote control TV that they had ever seen. 4. He found the number 9 significant. Number 9 was a significant number for the rock and roll icon. He was born on October 9th, and so was his second son, Sean Lennon. He met his second wife, Yoko Ono, on November 9, 1966. The Beatles' manager, Brian Epstein, who was a key figure in the band's success, first saw them perform in Liverpool's Cavern Club on November 9, 1961. Sadly, Lennon was also shot on December 9, 1980, in Western European time. Many other important events in Lennon's life coincided with the number 9, or with digits of it. Lennon mentioned the significance of the number in several interviews and even included it in 3 of his songs' titles, One After 909, Revolution 9, and No. 9 Dream. 5. Lennon did not grow up with his parents. His parents, Julia Stanley and Alfred Lennon, separated when he was only 5 years old. Shortly after, Lennon went on to live with his maternal aunt, Mimi Smith, and her husband, George Smith. Lennon's mother tried to reconnect with him when Lennon was a teenager. Unfortunately, Julia passed away when her son was only 17 years old, which forever stunted their flourishing relationship. Understandably, Lennon resented the loss of his parents, especially the loss of his mother. This pain later inspired him to write songs like Mother and Julia. Some have even claimed that part of Lennon's deep love for his second wife, Yoko Ono, has to do with her resemblance to his mother and the fact that he found a mother figure in her. Like Julia, Yoko Ono was artistic, unconventional, and had a strong character. As a matter of fact, John used to refer to Yoko Ono as mother. 6. Imagine was inspired by the poem Cloud Peace. The song Imagine was inspired by Cloud Peace, an instructional poem in his wife Yoko Ono's book, Grapefruit. He was inspired by the lines Imagine the clouds dripping. Dig a hole in your garden to put them in. In 2017, there was talk about the song's authorship being changed from solely crediting Lennon to including Yoko Ono. But, until this day, the song's authorship remains the same. 7. Lennon's wives were older than him. John Lennon was born on October 9, 1940. His first wife, Cynthia Lillian Powell, was born on September 10, 1939, which makes her about a year older than Lennon. His second wife, Yoko Ono, was born on February 18, 1933, which makes her about 7 years older than the rock and roll icon. 8. Lennon was infatuated with Brigitte Bardot. As a teenager, Lennon was infatuated with the stunning French actress, Brigitte Bardot. In fact, he was so enamored with her that he encouraged his then-girlfriend, Cynthia Powell, to dress up like her. Lennon was not alone in his infatuation with the French sex symbol. In fact, all of the other Beatles had a crush on Bardot and also encouraged their girlfriends to imitate her look. For example, Paul McCartney's first girlfriend, Dot Roan, has claimed the singer made her dye her hair blonde a la Bardot and made her wear short, tight mini skirts. Paul later admitted. At the time everyone was trying to turn their girlfriend into a bargain basement bardo. We all happened to be at the age when a ravishing sex goddess taking off her clothes was the fantasy for us boys. We were all smitten. So the girls had to be blonde, look rather like Brigitte and preferably pout a lot. John and I used to have these secret talks intimating, although not actually saying it, that we could be quite happy for our girlfriends to be Liverpool's answer to Bardot. My girlfriend was called and, of course, John had Cynthia. We got them both to go blonde and wear mini skirts. It's terrible really. But that's the way it was. Understandably, this move has been widely criticized by many people including Beatles fans. Although it is undeniable that this behavior was chauvinistic, it is important to consider the context, pre-second wave feminism, and the different gender norms at the time. 9. John was violent to women. In a 1980 interview with Playboy, Lennon admitted his violent past, indicating that he used to fight men and hit women, and that the line in the Beatles song Getting Better, which reads "I used to be cruel to my woman and beat her and take her apart from the things that she loved," was, in fact, about him. That is why I am always on about peace, you see. It is the most violent people who go for love and peace, said Lennon, explaining that, in big part, his violence was rooted in the pain and anger from his sad and lonely childhood, and that he was trying to change his ways. In her memoir titled, John, Lennon's first wife, Cynthia Lennon, confirms her ex-husband's neglect and, sometimes, abusive and cruel behavior. I never stopped loving John, but the cost of that love has been enormous. Someone asked me recently whether, if I'd known at the beginning what lay ahead, I would have gone through with it. I had to say no. Of course, I could never regret having my wonderful son. But the truth is that if I'd known as a teenager what falling for John Lennon would lead to, I would have turned around right then and walked away. As Lennon matured and got older, he was able to deal with his inner demons and release his pent-up anger through primal therapy. His second wife, Yoko Ono, has said that he was never abusive towards her. Dear viewers, do not forget to subscribe, like and comment for the development of our channel. Stay with love.